Alright everybody, you've been asking for it. I've been seeing it in the forums, I've been seeing it in the threads. Everybody's been asking, what are the best logging maps for FS25? Well, you just stay tuned, and I'm going to give you the best of the best that I can find so far. Our first map, we're going to start with Argo Forge. Now this map is on the mod hub, and it is for all platforms. I made sure that I looked first to make sure that we could find this, and basically it is based on Silver Run, and they've just done a massive expansion. There's a ton of trees now, I mean just much more, plus there's iron ore, rock, and sand, and a plant to process the rock and extract cement. There's cargo ship for transporting logs, ore and aggregates to sales and production points. So there's a lot on this map to unpack. So I thought we'd start here in your iron ore. So basically you would just collect it here, and then you're going to drive it all the way up to the plant. Now this is another entrance, but as you can see it's more just looks. But you're going to run it all the way up here. Now, I did work on this map for just a little bit. And then here's your processing plant, where you can make steel and everything else. So this is... So if you want to do a little bit of mining, you're going to get a little bit of mining on here. But mainly, this is definitely a log map. I mean, you're gonna do tons of logging. It's Silver Run Forest, basically. There's only 13 fields. But there are fences for sheep, beef cows, dairy cows, pigs, horse, chickens, large and small olive groves, vineyards, and rice fields. So there is a little bit of everything for everybody here. As you can see, these are pretty good sized grape fields. We can go visit it and show you. I mean, they're pretty good sized. I mean, they're huge. But personally, I would delete all this. I think doing the vineyards this way is a huge pain. I don't think that the vineyards ever produce enough that really makes a difference, alright, when you can do it in a greenhouse. Because here's your olives. It won't let me go to the olives. We could just run there, actually. Let's take a look. But I mean, we're mainly looking at logging anyway, so, but there is a ton of logging on here. You have you still have the sawmill here. This is your train. So everything else is the same. Right, so very good map. It's a lot of fun, a lot of logging. The only thing that I would say is that a disappointment is that they took out the big cedar woods, the big trees. They took them out, and they're only on the outskirts of the map, which you cannot cut down. Now, if you get the added trees. Here's your ferry. If you get the added trees, you can plant them yourself. But in all honesty, though, lodgepole pines give you more per liter than the big giant sequoias do anyway. So I just don't worry about it. There's plenty of different trees on this map for you to cut down. Definitely a pretty good logging map. And I wasn't going to go into great detail about each map because we have a few maps to go over. So, but as you can see, it's a pretty good sized map. It's like I say, it's based off of Silver Run, so it's not that much different. But you do have a little bit of mining over here if you want to do some mining as well. So pretty good map if you want to just start on doing some logging. All right, and our second map in today's series is going to be Death Valley. Now, Death Valley, as far as I know, and everything that I've searched, can only be found like on FS25.net. This is not in the mod hub that I can find, but it does have 145 fields with mission, small, medium, and large. It has grass, rice fields. The reason why this is in here because it does have a ton of forestry, but this is another one of those mixed maps that if you like to do other things besides just forestry work, then you can have other things to do. Again, because there's rice fields up here. We'll go visit this and I'll show you. This map is kind of nuts on, I mean, look at all those trees. So these are your rice fields. Let's hop down here. Look at all these glorious trees for logging. I mean, so and they're not all like flat ground, so you're gonna have to do, you know, probably some grappling and things like that on this map. It's supposed to be based off a Yukon Valley map, is what I was made to understand. So again, for forestry, for logging, I'm gonna put this out there because there is a ton of trees on this map. It doesn't specify how much. Now this Theory 69 that made this map, there are animals on here as well, but what we're looking at is how much there is to log on this map, and there is so much logging on this map that it's surprising how much logging you can do on this map, with all of the fields still on this map. So it's a good sized map. And again, so if you're looking to do more than just logging, maybe even a multiplayer map, I mean, just look at the size of this map. It's huge. There is a cement factory, so you can do a little bit of, you know, concrete work and things like that. Like here are your animals. You got some sheep. They're already on here, so if you wanted to keep those, you could. There's some chickens, cattle. So plenty to keep you busy. And that's what I like. I like maps that have a mix. You know, we're going to get to the more hardcore logging maps, but I wanted to kind of hit these maps that I feel like kind of get left out because there's a big mix. I mean, there's a lot of field work to do on this map, and there's also a lot of logging on this map. You've got a train that runs all the way through. There's a tunnel. I mean, this map, they did a lot of work on this map. We're going to go visit this place. Again, I mean, look at all the, there is a barge. I don't know why that's doing that. That's kind of weird, right? That's kind of creepy, right? But anyways, there is so much to do on this map. Looks like a houseboat that they just put up there. So plenty to do on this map as well as far as logging goes, and that's why it's in the lower end, because there's more to do than just logging. But there is a ton of logging to do on this map though, so I didn't want to leave it out. I like this map. I don't play it very often. I don't even have any save games for it, but I have played it. There's your chickens. So very good map, guys. Check it out. Don't forget, you guys, when you look at these maps, if you do download them, make sure that you give these guys a good rating when you download their maps. All right, and for our next map, we're looking at Forrest, Wisconsin. And this I wanted to give a little bit of a mention to, because there is, if you look, there is a ton of forestry on this map. But again, it is also a mix of a lot of farmland. This is a smaller map, but there is some forestry work on here, and as you can look, there are plenty of different trees, all different types. That's a deadwood, box elder. I mean, there's just a ton of different types of trees for you to do logging with, and plenty of big area. I mean, there's a ton of area here, and most of it looks like it's pretty flat. So nothing major as far as, you know, having to use big cranes and yarders and things like that. That's the edge of your map over there. So, you know, it's a decent map. Some areas to build in when, you know, after you purchase. If you're on, depending on what, if you're doing starting, if you're going to do hardcore, start at 0 or whatever, it may be different. But here's another little forested area here. There's plenty of logging to do on this map, I think, to keep you busy. I really, really do. Now, I don't know if you can add trees to this map. Let's find out. Trees. We're just going to grab one. Land is not owned by you, so I can't do that. But I wanted to see, because it doesn't specify how many trees, but there's a decent amount of trees for a map this size, so I'd be very curious if you're going to be able to add any more trees until you cut some down. Some decent sized fields too. I mean, this is a pretty good sized field. So honorable mention for this map. I thought I'd just throw it out there. Plenty to do on this map as far as field work goes. Plenty of logging area to do. Here's another that doesn't even look like it's logging on the map, but it is, as you can tell. But these are a little harder to mess with. But you know, it depends on the person, depends on what kind of logging you want to do. So there's plenty to do on this map as well, especially if you want to do some farming with your logging. So guys, again, make sure you check it out. If you like the map, make sure you give them a good rating. Alright guys, and our next map is called Mining Coast. Now this is a very interesting map. Let's go to start, let's take a look. As you can see, there's not going to be much farming on here until you clear some stuff out, if you wanted to do any farming at all. Now I stopped at this bridge because if you go to FS25.net, because that's the only place I've been able to find this map, so it's not on the mod hub. It appears the way they're showing it is that if you're using like a bobcat with a rock breaker, rock crusher on it, you can then scoop up the rock. Because otherwise I'm not seeing any actual scoopable rock unless this is it. But according to that, maybe that floating rock there that's sticking out, I don't know. But there is definitely mining on this map. But as you can tell, this map is mainly logging. There is a ton of logging on this map. Nice looking trees. I haven't really seen any glitches other than that one that I just showed you. I've been running around checking things out. But otherwise, there is just not a lot on this map. You got a train. You can go visit the train. It looks like plenty of room to build if you want, you know. So, a ramp to load your logs, I assume. Plenty to do. This track runs all the way through. There is, we can like see visit one. So there's one field. It's $0, and you already own it. So you already own all the land, so no big deal there. Plenty to do, plenty of logging. This is definitely a logging map. There is no farming to be done here. As you can see, here's your sawmill. So if you're just into hardcore logging, here's your map. Mining Coast. I don't think this one has gotten noticed very much. Like I say, I couldn't find it on ModHub, so it's only on FS25.net. Look it up, Mining Coast. It's a logging person's dream map. There's not much to show here because it's just all logging, guys. A little bit of mining that you can do here, it appears. Now, there is one interesting thing I was going to try to show you. Let's go back really quick here. It looks to be like the rock quarry here is all dynamic. So it's all crushable rock. There isn't any scoopable rock up where you're going to find your rock. Let me see if I can find it here and show you again real quick. I think it's up here. I said I thought it was. You guys hear that? It sounds like a factory's up here, but to my knowledge, there's nothing up here. Huh. Interesting. It sure did sound like there was something here, right? Maybe it was Bigfoot. Maybe it was just Bigfoot. But anyway, so if you get to the rock quarry here, which, like I said, there's not really a rock quarry here. There it is. It's just crushable rocks. Pretty sure this is it up here. Yeah, here it is. See? It's all going to be, you got a lot of work to do here. Which, hey, it's interesting, right? It's definitely something different. I've always said that I felt like if you're going to crush those rocks, you should be able to scoop the leftovers up, right? So, you know, logging, a little bit of mining, Mining Coast. Check it out. Again, always remember to give these guys, these modders, a good review. All right, and our next map is actually a very, very good multiplayer map, even some role-playing. We're looking at Wampsville, New York. Now, real quick, I don't think this is on ModHub. Let's take a look really quick and see if it is. I'm pretty sure it's not. It may be, though. it is not on there. So you're only gonna be able to get this off FS25.net. But listen to this. So there's 3 different maps. There's like a homestead edition, which is going to be your farming. There's forestry, and then there's a do-it-yourself map. This map starts out, you have iron here, and you've got a stone quarry here. You own a little piece of land right here. And it looks like you got a couple of vehicles if you're starting on like a beginning farmer map. But look at all this iron. So plenty of iron ore that's going to last you quite some time. It's pretty thick. Look at that. So there's mining on this map, of course. There is also, like I say, here's your rock quarry. Let's see if we can just visit. Here it is. Lots of stone. Pretty good sized stone quarry. And of course, like I said, there is tons of forestry work. And it looks like good trees. I prefer doing lodgepole, pine, spruce, things like that over like the box elders because there's a lot of chainsawing to do to those. So it looks like really good forestry on this map. It looks like they took a lot of time and effort into it. It says it has the ability to remove almost all NPCs from the map entirely, so you can make use of the land that they occupy. It says that you cannot remove the ones that are on non-viable land though. Unique placeables and buildings including custom houses for NPCs without spawning points, custom sell point with NPCs that explain how to use it, buys anything with a price in the commodity list from players. Anything on viable land should be sold or cut down once purchased, including but not limited to pawns. It said in each map, Kenneth's conversation changes a little bit to fit the predefined development of the map you're playing on. So whether you're doing this one, whether you're doing the homestead or do-it-yourself edition, but this map is a pretty cool little map. Here we go. Look here. Another little, doesn't really specify, but I'm going to say that that's more stone. Okay. Looks like you got a sawmill there. So plenty to do on this map as well. Plenty to do. There's your glass. Okay, so what I'm going to say is that this is stone, because you have to use the stone in a stone crusher to make sand, which this is what it takes is sand, obviously, because it's going to be glass. So pretty cool. Looks like there's traffic. Like I said, plenty to do on this map. So if you're into logging and a little bit of mining, this is going to be the map for you. Wampsville, New York. Check it out. We're almost done. We got one more map to go, which I think is just the logging person's dream. Alright, and our last map of the day is for all platforms. So everybody can get this off of the mod hub. This is Bear Wallow logging, and this is nothing but logging. You start with, now if you want to do like the starting farm, this is what you're going to get. There's a repair bay here. I'm not sure. Let me look. I didn't bring anything in. Let's just buy a cheap tractor. We'll just buy it like that. Is it inside there? There it is, way over here. So this is where you're going to get all your vehicles from, unless you have store deliveries and you can move it wherever you want. But as you can see, this is strictly logging. There's nothing here but logging. This is a sawmill. I wanted to kind of check out what this dark spot was up here really quick. So it's just a pond. Okay. So like I said, nothing but logging here. So if you're into just logging and you want to do a multiplayer, whatever you want to do, role playing or whatever, there's not much to show you here. There's nothing here but trees. It is very hilly, so it'd be a good map to use some grapplers on and things like that. There's a really good I can't think of the name of the modder right now, but he has some really nice logging equipment. It's a nice grappler. So this is it, guys. I think this is the epitome of logging maps right here, guys. So no mistaking what this map is all about. Bear Wallow, or Bear Rock Logging. Sorry, Bear Rock Logging. I don't know why I call it Wallow. Bear Rock Logging. It is on the mod hub, so you should be able to find it there. Or is it not? Maybe it's not. I think actually it's not. Yeah, it's Bear Wallow Logging. That's what I thought it was, Bear Wallow Logging. But down here it says Bear Rock Logging. I thought that this was on Mod Hub, but it's not. Let me look really quick here. I thought it was, but it looks like it's only going to be on PC. I thought that was for sure on console. My bad, guys. My bad. So it's only going to be on PC. So PC players, nothing but logging here for you. But we do have some nice logging maps on console as well. So, but I wanted to throw this one out there because this is what I feel like is just the epitome of logging maps. So since we still don't have a Deadwood, we're going to have to make do with these. But guys, that's all I want to share with you today. I wanted to get these out there for you because a lot of people have been asking, you know, what are, you know, these maps, the best logging maps out there. And I think that right now, these are some of the top logging maps until more come out. We're almost at a year since the release of the game, so we'll see what comes out. But guys, as always, hit that like and follow, and thanks for watching.